How you doing? This is Scott and I'm here with Sneakers and we're coming to you today from Unique University. What we want to talk to you about today is product photography on the cheap. Basically, we get people coming to our store and they're asking us about expensive lighting equipment, telling us that it's just not in their budget and that what they're really just trying to do is make some quick, easy product photography to put up on eBay, online, whatever they want to do with it. The fact is, you don't need expensive equipment to get the job done. I won't tell you that buying yourself the correct product isn't going to save you a lot of time, it isn't going to be more consistent, but at the same time, perhaps not the most necessary thing for a lot of people. So what we're talking about today, simple down and dirty product shots, as cheap as you can get. This is what we're going to use as our subject. Let's get started. First thing you're going to need is a background. Maybe you don't want to run out and buy a roll of seamless paper. Maybe you don't have the money for a canvas or a muslin. So simple background, seamless, a little roll of wrapping paper, something you have left over from the holiday, birthday, whatever. You need something to put it on. You don't want to go out and get yourself an expensive light stand. In this case, I'm just going to use a cardboard box. So I've got my background up on its stand. Little piece of tape to hold it in place. Roll it out, instant seamless. Subject goes on, prop them up nicely. Next thing you need, obviously a camera. I'm going to assume that everyone here has at least a camera and some type of tripod or means to stabilize it. As you can see, this is not the most expensive camera in the world. It's a basic point and shoot, has automatic features, but will still get the job done. What you really have to concentrate on when you're shooting product photography is light. Now in a place like this, where I've got fluorescence all over, I can simply shoot this just as it is and still get something halfway usable. But in most people's homes, they don't have this kind of available diffused light. That's where you have to create it. And to create it, I'm going to use nothing more than a simple white trash bag and an umbrella. Why an umbrella? I don't know. I couldn't find a stick fast enough. I figure someone's got to have something like this lying around their house. So it's easy enough to do. All you want to do, get the bag open, take your umbrella, dowel, yardstick, whatever you have, and voila, you have an instant diffuser. All you have to do is make sure it goes between the subject and your light. It's translucent and it will soften the light for you. You're going to now need a light. In this instance, I could use something as simple as an old speed light, flash unit, whatever I have, but it's only going to work if I can completely set my camera on manual. If what you have is an automatic camera, you're not going to be able to get away with a handheld flash unit. We could talk more about building exposure in another segment, but for right now, we're not going to use this. We're just going to use a basic household pie tin style light. Now this is a Smith Victor unit. A little bit more expensive, but you can find similar units at Home Depot for anywhere between $7 and $14. All I have in here is a 500 watt bulb. You could use a 250, but the exposure time is going to be a little longer. Not so much to worry about. 500, 250, 100, whatever you can put inside of it, you're just trying to create a light. The way you're going to create that light is your subject is going to be here, your diffuser here, your light here. You can simply hand hold the two just to keep it in operation and it'll work out just fine. Okay, so you have your camera set up on the tripod. What you want to do is try and use a fairly long focal length. That's going to help you flatten out the perspective, lose a lot of the distortion, and keep the subject onto the background. Other thing you want to do is use the self-timer on the camera. This is just to help steady the camera, get a much sharper image. All right, I'm going to be putting the light over on this side, and it's going to be casting a shadow that way. So what I'm going to want to do is have some type of reflector on the opposite side, filling in those shadows so it doesn't go so dark. And to do that, all I'm going to do is use another garbage bag and a binder clip to hold it in place. Voila, instant reflector. Now, all that's left is I have my light and my diffuser. I'm putting light in on this side. It's being reflected over there to fill in the shadow. Now what I want to do with the diffuser is get it in as tight to the subject as I possibly can while it's still outside of the frame. The further back from the diffuser I put the light, the softer the light's going to be. Closer in I get, the harsher it's going to get. So I would say right about there is going to give me a nice soft diffused look. Reflector is going to work to fill in those deep shadows, and we're ready to get started. All that's left to do now is click the shutter. Sticks, can you get the shutter? All right. 10 seconds later, we're going to have ourselves an exposure. And there it is. All right. That's Product Photography 101, basic down and dirty product photos on the cheap. This has been Scott and Sneakers. Thanks for tuning in.